What is going on, YouTube people? Northeast Ohio Sports Cards here for the Sunday morning week in review. The week that was in the wonderful world of sports cards. We're starting on the desk today instead of the charts and graphs because I made a pickup at the local show on Saturday that I'm going to talk about really quick before we dive on in to the normal stuff. So YouTube stuff down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. If you want to check out the fancy graphs that we're going to be using, links to market movers down below, along with coupon code, eBay links, all that stuff. Let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? So Saturday was the local Canton show, local-ish, pretty reasonable drive for me to run over to that. So I popped in there first thing in the morning, made the rounds. I left my stuff in the car. I did not shoot any video, but I left my box in the car and stuff. I really wasn't looking for anything. And first off, I will say I got there right at 9 o'clock. I was there for about an hour. By the time I left, it was actually pretty busy. It's the busiest that I've seen it the last few months, to be quite honest. It was really, I don't want to say it was like packed, but it was much busier than the two previous shows, I think, at least for the time that I was there, which was just in the morning. And there was some pretty decent stuff. So I was walking around, talked to a few people that I normally talk to, chatted them up, and one guy had a bunch of Vlad Guerrero Juniors in his case, and I was been thinking about picking one up. I have a pink refractor PSA 10 on the way back from Star Stock now. That should be, I don't know when it'll be here exactly. There was a little bit of an issue, but I'll probably talk about that in a future video. So I have a pink PSA 10 refractor coming back, but he had a base refractor, the normal refractor. He had a PSA 10, a gold to 9, a sapphire PSA 10, a purple PSA 10, which are numbered out of 299. A lot of really nice Vlad stuff. So I got talking to him. His prices were very reasonable, about right at current comps to slightly under, just kind of depending on when you looked, which for a starting point to me, I think is more than fair. And I walked around for a little bit, thought about it, and I ended up pulling the trigger on what I thought was the best deal of the bunch. And that is Vlad Refractor. And I did post this on IG on Saturday, so you may have seen this already. Vlad PSA 10 purple, which, man, are these things just fantastic looking cards. Just gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous. Nice thing about these, for those not familiar, numbered out of 299. So this is 186. Yeah, 186 out of 299. This is pop 35. And I got this for just over $1,000, basically right at 1,000 or 1050. I paid 1050 for this cash. He wasn't interested in trading anything. I was going to go out and get my stuff out of the car. The interesting thing about this is obviously pop 35, not a lot of sales. The last two sold earlier in the month of June. One sold for 1,100, and then the last one sold for 1,200. And his stuff has obviously gone up since the 2 weeks or so since the last one of these have sold. His stuff's up. We're actually going to talk about him as one of the main players this week. So I thought 10. He was at 1,100. I said 1,000. He said 1050. I said fine. So I thought it was an extremely fair price, and I actually think if it would run at auction today, it would probably go for quite a bit more than that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm probably going to fall in love with it and end up holding on to it because, man, what a great looking card. Like, just a great looking card. So pick this up. Like I said, I think it would go for more than 11 or 1,200 bucks if I threw it up at auction. I'm either going to keep it long term and move some of the lesser Vlad stuff that I have, or to me, this feels like it would be really good trade bait at the National, potentially, because this is just a wonderful looking card. So that's it for the desk cam. But overall, show was good. Like I said, I was there for about an hour, and 100% was much busier I didn't get the vibe like how much people were buying and selling. I had kind of limited time this morning, so I wanted to get in, talk to people that I usually like to talk to, make the rounds, see what's what. I had a few things I was potentially looking for, and pulled the trigger on that. Like I said, I did not walk in expecting to buy that at all. Kind of just fell into my lap. Um, I had sold a bunch of raw stuff at the card collector to trade night, so I kind of used the money for moving off a lot of that raw stuff to get into that, which I felt pretty good about. Because it was kind of like, I don't want to say it was like free money, but it was still $1,000 out of my wallet. But it was, most of that cash came from selling, a bunch of raw trays, jaws, just odds and ends of stuff over the last couple shows that I've been at. So reinvesting that into a ultra low pop numbered Vlad refractor, I feel pretty okay about that one, even if I don't short term flip it, just hold it long term. But beautiful looking card, looks great on the desk. So with that being said, let's go ahead and pop on over to the desktop screen. I have one other thing I need to talk about really quickly before we dive into charts and graphs. So, one thing to talk about before we dive into charts and graphs, and one other little behind the scenes thing. So, the section with the Vlad refractor, I recorded early in the day on Saturday when I first got home from the show. I had some Father's Day stuff to do. Saturday afternoon, go see dad, grandpa, etc. And I prepped everything and wanted to wait to record the back half of this video until after Bucks Nets. So it is very late on Saturday night now. That game has literally just ended 45 seconds ago. So that was crazy. Yeah, we'll talk about that more in a second. Let's get into the computer desktop side of things. So first, before I do anything else, if you missed it, I was on the Women of the Hobby YouTube channel the other day. Sam and She Collects Cards had me on. Just kind of mostly we talked a lot about the national, some general market stuff, a little background, some content creator shenanigans. Very good chat. Went about 40 some minutes, as you could see here. I will link to it in the description to this video. Some of you may have seen it already. I did link to it in a community post, but if you haven't, highly recommend going and checking that out. Like I said, a lot of national predictions, that sort of stuff. We talked a lot about the national and kind of the current state of things, and the upcoming Dallas show and the Atlanta show, which Sam is going to be attending. So, and I'm making some plans to have Sam and I have already talked. She's going to be at the Atlanta show, which is 2 weeks prior to the national. I'm going to see about having Sam come on the channel for an interview after the Atlanta show to kind of get the vibe from that. And also, she likes to dabble in a lot of like Olympic stuff and stuff like that. So she has some interesting takes on Olympic plays. So we'll probably talk about that, but that'll be in a few weeks. So go check me out on the Women of the Hobby YouTube channel, and let's get into some charts and graphs. So I did not pull, this is mostly going to be baseball and a little bit of basketball. Just because it's fresh in my mind, let me just start with this. So bring me a KD dip, please. He was absolutely outstanding in that series. He just had no help. Injuries mounted up. I don't know that the Bucks deserve to win that series. I don't know that the Nets deserve to win that series in their current shape. The Eastern Conference Finals are going to be wild. We will see what Game 7 brings. I want the Hawks to win that game so bad, just because they're way more entertaining. 76ers Bucks just feels like, I don't even know, like a rock fight waiting to happen. At least the Hawks Bucks will have some juice to it. So I'm really hoping the Hawks can pull off Game 7. And I'm also slightly biased because I have a lot of Trae Young stuff. So we'll see what happens there. On the KD side of things, I am extremely interested in buying a KD Chrome 9 on the dip. I assume his stuff is going to dip. Maybe it doesn't. He played out of his mind. The shot that he hit to force overtime was insane. Those are sitting between around 1,200 ish. I could have bought one today for 1,200. I probably could have even got it for less. But I ended up pulling the trigger on the Vlad instead because I had a feeling the Nets were going to lose. and I didn't want to buy it and then have it immediately go down if they lost. So if I could get into a KD Chrome 9, if they start popping up under 1,000, I think I will definitely pull the trigger on one. It seems kind of like a no-brainer. I think that team with a full off season, get healthy. They'll have Spencer Dinwiddie back next year, make some more off-season moves. That Nets team will be the prohibitive favorite for the NBA championship. It's just a matter of health. So, yeah, that's Bucks Nets, and then we will see how the rest plays out in the East with tomorrow's game, and then Suns Clippers. Hopefully CP3 can get right and get back. The Clippers really surprised me. I don't know if they're gonna be able to do that against the Suns. Jazz were very banged up. I'm gonna take a blood. We're gonna talk about Mitchell here in a second. I'm gonna take a bath on the remaining Mitchell stuff that I have. The Star Stock stuff that I picked up, I sold 3/4 of it at a profit, and I took a small loss on 2 of them just to get out of it. And during the fourth quarter of that game, the writing was on the wall, and I sold them for about a 10% hit on Star Stock, and then they immediately dropped another $75. I had a PSA 10 Prism and a PSA 10 Optic, and I didn't want to have the money tied up, so I already have PSA 10 Prism and 2 PSA 10 Optics that I bought off eBay a while ago. So let's transition into charts and graphs. Sorry for the weird little mid part of this video, but the way that I ended up recording this, because I wanted to wait for that game to be over because I knew it would be something dumb or crazy would happen in that Nets Bucks game. So I'm glad that I waited. So into the normal charts and graphs, we'll try to keep this short so this video doesn't go too long. First up, Vlad. I bought the PSA 10 purple, and his stuff's absolutely on fire. The main reason why I bought that card, like I talked about, was I just felt it was extremely undervalued based on a older comp, because there wasn't a recent one. So I get it. He had it priced perfectly based on where the last comp was. I just felt that last comp was no longer accurate because one had not sold in a couple weeks. I very well could be wrong. Regardless, I've been looking at this card all day and cannot take my eyes off of it. It is sexy. So what is Vlad's other stuff doing? Base Chrome up 37% on the week. Pink Refractor up 20% on the week. Regular Refractor has stayed flat, but one has not sold in 3 days. A lot of these have really shot up the last couple of days, and you could see a regular Refractor, the green line here, one has not sold since the 14th, while these other ones have moved. If it wasn't for Ohtani doing what he is doing, Vlad would be the runaway favorite for AL MVP, in my opinion. But Ohtani probably is the leader in the clubhouse with what he's doing, and I'm not going to fault anyone for that. What he's doing is insane. But what Vlad's doing is insane as well. If he comes out and mashes a bunch of home runs in the home run derby or something stupid, I could see his cards going up again. We'll see. But I'm glad to have picked up that purple. Like I said, I should have another pink PSA 10 on the way from Star Stock. I might end up moving that one since I locked this one in. The goal was to have some sort of refractor of Vlad. I had bought the pink on Star Stock, had it shipped home, and now that I've picked up the purple, I may look to use the pink as a trade bait, or maybe use the purple and just hold on to the pink. I don't know. This purple looks so good though. So good. Moving on. Fernando Tatis, but just his Bowman Chrome took a little jump this week. Right at the end of the week, went up 30%, $300 jump. And there was multiple sales to force this, because I did double check. I was curious to see if maybe there was one rogue outlier sale. Usually Market Movers is pretty good about filtering that stuff out. But this one had a couple sales that moved the needle on this one. Only 1,000 of these in a PSA 10. I actually thought about picking one of these up at one point in time, then just decided against it. Nice card. I would prefer probably some type of chrome refractor. That's just me, but I know a lot of people go hard for the first Bowmans, so I can't blame them. And this one is fairly low pop in the grand scheme of things. So that took a little bit of a move this week. Mike Trout. It appears we have hit the bottom on his PSA 10 Topps update. One sold exactly 7 days ago for $3K even. And that's the lowest I've seen one sell. Since then, they have gone back up. So it appears $3,000 was the bottom for that card. Maybe it dips back down again, but it went down to three, shot up all the way to 3,500, is trending back down slightly. So it's back to 3,300. So we'll see where this ends up leveling out at, but it appears if I blow this back like just 30 days, you can see the downward trend. And right here is that $3,000 sale where it dipped down and then spiked back up again. I, I think this happens a lot. You notice this. I notice this when I look at a lot of these different cards that you could tell when it reaches big round numbers like that there's people that must just be waiting that says like, okay, if it hits this number, I'm pulling the trigger on it. And I'm guessing that's what happened here. This card got to 3K and someone was like, you know what? 3K is my buy point. Let me buy. That moves. And then, the next one goes for slightly more. And then people that were like, oh, I thought it was going to go under 2K. I better get mine now because it's starting to go back up again. And then I think that's where you start seeing these little slow, gradual step ups from one sale to the next, to the next, to the next. Not huge, just little like $100 increments. Because they see it hit that low point and they're like, damn, I missed it. And then the next one goes slightly higher. The next one goes slightly higher. And then anyone that was waiting for that low point starts making moves because they're afraid they're going to miss the dip, essentially. And then I think that starts driving the price back up. We'll see if it holds. Maybe it's just a little rogue thing and we look back next week and it's right back down to 3K. But he should be getting close to becoming back. I have not heard anything on that, but I haven't checked. So that could be part of that as well. Checking in on Luka. PSA 10 Silver Prism. Down 7% on the week. $360 hit. Drops below 5K. Very curious to see where the bottom is on that card. In fact, let me take this back 14 days and see what it's done over the last 14. Last 14, still down 6%. Didn't move much. Actually spiked up there in the middle. So just under 5. I will be very curious to see how much lower that goes. Base Prism still falling. Base Optics still falling. His base stuff is definitely still on the downtrend. But the Prism Silver 10 is kind of like the go-to rookie card for him. So I'll be curious to see where that bottoms out. Mentioned Donovan Mitchell early. His stuff's definitely going to take a big hit. It's already down just in the last 7 days, down 16%, all the way down to 325 now for his Prism PSA 10. And it was actually spiked up to 391. This was almost a $400 card again, multiple times. And now his dove back down hard the last 2 days, and I expect this to keep going. My guess is this gets under $300 fairly quickly, and maybe even all the way down to 250, 225. I'm going to say 250-ish is the floor. We'll see if I'm right. I already have a bunch of Mitchell, so I'm not looking to get any more. I'm going to have to wait it out. When I bought that, like I said, I had bad luck timing because 1, the market kept going down. 2, he got hurt, which accelerated his downward spiral. And then he just was clearly not fully functional for that Clippers series. And then with the Conley injury on top of it, they were just toast. They really should not. If that team was fully functional, they waxed the Clippers. But the Clippers did not clipper. We'll see what happens in the Western Conference Finals if they could keep this going. I just could not imagine a world where they make it past the Suns, even with CP3 missing some games. So, but Mitchell stuff's going to get pretty cheap. I can tell you right now. I'm going to be interested to see if he starts rumbling about a trade or not. I don't know. I don't think so. But there was all those rumors that he was super pissed about the way that they handled his ankle injury at the beginning of that Grizzlies series. Now, things proved out that maybe they were right because they sat him out in that game. He said he was ready to play. And now here we are a couple weeks later and he's gimped basically for most of that Clippers series. So maybe he looks at that and was like, oh, okay, maybe these guys were right. But he would be, if you don't have any Donovan Mitchell and you could buy him on a dip, I absolutely would. That team's really good. They're going to be a favorite in the West again next year. And if they're healthy, they once again should be right towards the top. They'll probably be a top 4 seed. Whether or not they can make a run, who knows? Or maybe you get lucky and he demands a trade out. And if he does, his stuff would spike. off the news or rumor of trade or potentially getting moved or actually getting moved, depending on where they would send him to. I don't know if that happens. I think that's a very big long shot, but who knows with all the weird stuff going on there prior to the playoffs starting. But yeah, Mitchell stuff I think is going to get awfully cheap pretty quick too. Trae Young, interesting roller coaster ride here. His stuff spiked up, and then they lost game 6, and it went back down again. Specifically, his silver went down, but his base is up for the week. The silver's down 6%, the base is up 12%. I desperately want them to win that game against the 76ers, as we talked about earlier. One, for selfish reasons, because I have a lot of Trae Young stuff. Spoilers, I have a nice Trae Young pickup coming on Tuesday's video, which is already recorded, and another very big card pickup on Tuesday's video. Tuesday's video, I can tell you right now, is a mail day video. It is 2 cards. A really nice Trae Young card, which I showed on a live stream, I think. It was a star stock pickup, and a really, really, really nice other card, mystery card. What's in the box? What is in the box? You will find out Tuesday morning. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Some of you may be able to guess or figure it out. Don't make any guesses. We'll see. Yeah, I guess, whatever. But yeah, I'm excited for Tuesday's video. Obviously, I already have it. I got the card on Friday and shot the video as soon as I got it because I wanted to shoot opening the box on camera because it was a little pricey, just in case there was issues. So Trae Young stuff trending up and down. Doesn't know what it wants to do. Once again, we'll see how that series settles up. I would love for the Hawks to make the Western Conference Finals. I don't know that they can. I think their shot was in game 6 and they blew it, but we will see. That 76ers team is just not exciting to watch for me. That's another big reason why I just want the Hawks on there. I don't want a rock fight. And the Bucks are definitely a rock fight. Another Donovan Mitchell card. Sorry, I had these out of order. This is a select concourse PSA 10. Man, I would love to buy one of these on a dip, and it is dipping hard. Down 43%, $123 nose dive in the last 7 days. Started the week at 298, ends the week at 175. One, these cards are gorgeous. It's his only select card. He does not have a premiere, and I don't think he has. Maybe he does have a courtside too, I think. But pop count on the concourse is only 589, and this card looks way better than his prism and way better than his optic. They are really nice, and they are taking a beating. This is one I would definitely throw on my radar for an off-season pickup. I don't care that it's a base card. It is a low pop select card. I am perfectly fine buying that sort of base. Let's hop over to football really quick, and not so much charts and graphs, but just something I noticed while researching for today's video. One, Kyler Murray PSA 10 base prism is up a little bit, up 20%, 355 to 425. The interesting thing that I noticed here, his pop on his PSA 10 prism, which is his 2019 prism, so it's been out for well over a year now, is just over 2,000. So not crazy high, not super low like some of the other stuff. Baker, for example, most of the 2018 guys are just under 1,000, with Lamar being way less than 1,000. So it doubled from 18 to 19 PSA 10s for, let's call it, key quarterbacks. Herbert PSA 10 prism is already at 1,300. And I say already at 1,300 because this came out about a month before, I think 2 months before PSA shut down. And I have a feeling there is a boatload of these sitting at PSA. And this product's only been on the market for, 4 months maybe? I don't remember when Prism released. I think it's been like 4 months. So I will be very curious to see where this population count shakes out at. I continue to say it. I'm going to keep beating this drum. Herbert stuff is way too expensive. Same with Burrow. I think both their prices crash back to earth once the season actually starts. If I had any Herbert or Burrow that I was into for cheap, I would 100% be looking to move it between now and August. I would not hold either one of these two guys into season. Burrow might not. We don't even know if Burrow's going to be ready for the start of the season, and then his stuff's going to start going down. And the Bengals team is they are the Bengals. And I'm sorry, Herbert was great last year, but that team's not winning the Super Bowl. They're might probably not even going to make the playoffs. Playoffs. We'll see, but they're definitely not a Super Bowl favorite. The AFC is loaded. Absolutely loaded. They have the Chiefs to deal with in their own division. The AFC North is loaded with the Browns and the Ravens and the Steelers still hanging around. You have whatever the AFC East is with the Bills, and if the Patriots can rebound, plus the Dolphins are going to be a little bit spicy. Maybe, who knows? The Titans have Julio now. They looked rejuvenized. Do the Broncos pick up Aaron Rodgers? Or does something still crazy happen with that? But regardless, the Broncos are never easy to play against. The AFC is just going to be really tough this year. And like I said, just having Kansas City in your own division to work with is a nightmare. I just don't see how Herbert prices hold throughout the season. I really don't. All the hype's going to move to Trevor Lawrence and all the other new kids. The only one of the rookie quarterbacks from last year that I think would be worth buying prior to the season, hoping he gets a bump, would be Hurts, because his stuff seems cheap. I'll probably blow this out into a full football video, maybe sometime this week or next week. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and it keeps getting put off. But I think there's some interesting conversation to be had around the 2020 quarterbacks versus the older quarterbacks and their price points. So that's actually all I have for you guys today. Not a ton on the charts and graphs. Like I said, we had the pickup thing, a lot of other nonsense going on. So tomorrow's video, I think I have not recorded it yet, but I believe I'm going to do a Cardboard Connection posted a really nice preview video of X-Men Metal, which comes out this week. So I think I'm going to do a preview video on X-Men Metal, kind of going through that article. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. And then those boxes hit this week. So I have 6 pre-ordered through David Adams. And I hope to get those later in this week and have a video opening one of those up. I'm super excited to rip some product. And I am super excited to rip that product specifically because the cards look fantastic based off of the preview article. So that is Monday's video, most likely. Something could change, but I think that's what I'm going to talk about is X-Men Metal tomorrow. And then Tuesday is a massive mail day video. And then I don't know what I have planned for the rest of the week. So like, comment, subscribe. No Sunday Spotlight this week, but go check out Women of the Hobby, which was a previous Sunday Spotlight channel. But go check out my interview, if you want to call it that, hang out with them, whatever you want to call it, over on their channel. Once again, link in the description down below for that. We will catch you guys and girls on the next one. Everyone have a fantastic Father's Day. All the dads out there. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Go have some beers, have some brats, have some barbecue, smoke some meat, whatever it is that makes you happy. Catch you on the next one. Peace.